Let's take a look now at the latest pandemic developments around the world. More than 3.8 million people have been infected with the coronavirus globally, and nearly 270,000 have died. A new study by the World Health Organization projects that up to 190,000 people in Africa could die of COVID-19 in the first year if the outbreak is not contained. Iran's state news agency has said Friday prayers will resume in mosques in 146 cities where the infection risk is considered minimal. And Afghanistan's national health minister has tested positive for the coronavirus, and the World Bank has approved $400 million in aid to help the country's shaky economy weather the crisis. The International Monetary Fund is worried about an economic collapse in Brazil. The country went through a major recession in 2016 and has just begun to stabilize. The current COVID-19 pandemic is threatening a full recovery.
From up here, it all looks peaceful. The statue of Christ the Redeemer overlooking the Copacabana. But just downstairs, Father Omar has to conduct Mass as a live stream as no visitors are allowed in his chapel. The beaches are empty too. The city of Rio de Janeiro under lockdown with tens of thousands infected with coronavirus and 600 dying every day. And yet the government wants to shut down to end, warning of an economic collapse. This idea that the economy is less important because life is first is not true. I have always said that both of them have to be treated responsibly. The IMF too has warned of an economic collapse for a country only 4 years out of a recession. Brazil's economic minister is worried. Although we are protected, the population and everyone has the resources, what is the use of that if within 30 days the lights go out, we're running out of food and our national production is stopped? Therefore, the warning the IMF gave is very important. Within about 30 days, there may be shortages in stores, leading to a system of economic collapse and social disorder. With the country worried, some hope from above, and a plea for people to, at least, wear masks.
Well, the coronavirus crisis has also inspired people to be more innovative to deal with some of the challenges that the pandemic has posed. Companies are adapting to changing demands. The U.S. company Hatch Exhibits has gone from building trade show booths to protective equipment for healthcare workers facing a dire shortage amid the pandemic.
The machines at Hatch Exhibits are running again, and Chris McCormick is happy to have all his people back at work. His company normally makes displays and pop-up exhibition booths for clients like YouTube or Google, but all their projects got cancelled, so now they are producing medical gowns and face shields.
Yeah, this is one of our EPVC headgears or halo units. Has an integrated clamping mechanism for people that have a smaller head, so it's a one size fits most. The shields are quickly inserted and installed, has a keyhole registration, and it fits very comfortably, most people.
The company, established just 5 years ago, was hit hard by the crisis, with losses running into millions of dollars. Chris McCormick tells me the idea to rejigger his production came to him when he was watching New York's Governor Cuomo on TV talking about the need for personal protective equipment. The next day, he was already working on prototypes of masks and gowns together with Morgan Fraley. The last weeks, she says, have been a roller coaster ride.
It's totally wild. It feels like being in a World War II factory that has been repurposed for making wartime goods.
That's what Sandy Wood and Alex Laufer, the founders of 1-8 Distilling, thought as well. When regular orders for their gin and whiskey started to dwindle, they decided to pivot their production.
We had to stop producing spirits, at least for a little while, and focus all our efforts on making hand sanitizer. So it's been quite a big change for the business, but we're grateful both that we can find a revenue stream from that, but also that we're able to stay busy.
Now their distillery produces 3,000 gallons of hand sanitizer per week, mostly for first responders and health workers in Washington, D.C. Staying productive and creative, that's also what's important for Chris McCormick. Back at Hatch Exhibits, he shows us his newest product.
So for the little guys, you know, when the doctor's all done up in their masks and all the PPE equipment, we made versions where we print animals on them or characters and different faces. So when they see it, it's not quite as scary as intimidating. And what we found out is it's not just kids that need that smile right now, it's pretty much anybody.
Hope and purpose, that's what we've got, says Chris McCormick, as he reinvents his business model.
Now, lockdowns imposed to limit the spread of the coronavirus have reduced traffic and pollution. In some places, that has allowed nature to make a comeback. In Thailand, it has emboldened dolphins and other animals to reappear.
Dolphins galore, not far from the Similan Islands in Thailand. These magical mammals have surrounded a ranger's boat. They don't know anything about social distancing or the coronavirus pandemic, but they're definitely benefiting from it.
So there's many people and all the activities associated with this many people. So boat traffic, partying by the beach, So when all this are lifted, the animals tend to carry on.
Fishermen recently recorded these images of rare pink dolphins, a breed of Indo-Pacific humpback dolphin. There are around 150 of them living in the Gulf of Thailand. They very rarely come this close to humans. Nature is making a comeback, starting with some of the smallest. These leatherback sea turtles can grow up to 700 kilograms. Researchers near Phuket are recording the highest numbers of newborns in over 2 decades. The largest sea turtles in the world bury their eggs on remote beaches.
They prefer dark beaches, so they go towards a dark area when they're coming up to the shore to lay their eggs, and then they move and head out to the lights, guided by the stars on the way back to the ocean.
This is a group of dugongs, sometimes called sea cows. They're huge, extremely shy creatures which flee at even the slightest hint of humankind. But with no tourists and no noise, they, like many other species, are currently loving the peace and quiet.